Hello and welcome to the channel. Subscribe to the channel guys, like, share and comment on the video too. Thank you. Now let's get started. PDP crisis over soon, flags off campaign October 10, aniagwu. The People's Democratic Party PDP presidential campaign spokesman Mr. Charles Aniagwu says the crisis rocking the party would soon be over, just as the party prepares to flag off its campaign at Uyo October 10. Speaking on Kakaki AIT on Tuesday, Aniagwu said the party's reconciliation efforts were yielding results, bringing hope of resolving the crisis in no distant time. He said that having inaugurated its campaign council, the party would flag off its campaign on Monday in Uyo, the Akwa Ibom state capital. According to Aniagwu, the party's presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar, his running mate Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, and other leaders of the party were working hard to resolve all contending issues to enable it present a common front ahead of the 2023 general elections. Atiku has said he is not going to leave anybody behind, so what we are doing is to ensure that everybody comes on board. Not long ago, we inaugurated the campaign council, and that means that the train has left the station, but we are very mindful of the fact that as we move along the track of the 2023 general elections, we will stop at different stations to pick both old and new passengers. One of the causes of agitation in the country is the inability of the APC to carry parts of the country along in the governance process. But beyond the issue of the votes, Atiku is interested in carrying everybody along even after winning the election by the grace of God. He said Atiku's 5-point agenda encapsulated in his policy document would address the nagging issues bedeviling the country. We are urging all Nigerians, including those who are non-aligned, to see the need to embrace the Atiku Okowa ticket in their quest to govern Nigeria from 2023. It is on record that Atiku is the only candidate that has been able to bring up a manifesto which is called My Covenant with Nigerians. What he is doing now is part of his desire to carry everybody along, and we commend our other governors for remaining in the party to express their grievances within the party. I can assure you that at the end of the day, the PDP will move as one family and as a cohesive force, in addition to bringing other Nigerians on board with a view to reversing the ugly situation that we find our country today. But rest assured that in no too distant time, you will see a very peaceful PDP. He further said the Atiku Okowa mandate would take care of the desires of the country's youth population and urged Nigerians to support the ticket in its bid to rescue, rebuild and reposition the country from the ineptitude of the APC-led federal government. With Atiku's plan, a number of issues that agitate the youth of our country will be addressed so that the country can begin to function and function properly. He said the APC were always referring to Lagos because the federal government had failed in the past 7 years, adding that Abuja was becoming congested because the APC failed to construct new roads in the federal capital territory. Because their performance at the national level is very abysmal, hence they are running away from their real records and always referring to Lagos, a Lagos that gets flooded anytime it rains, or the Lagos that people can't move freely because of traffic congestion. For us, we are going to, by the grace of God, talk about a country that works for all of us, not a Lagos that is not even adding value to the standard of living of the people who live there. The kind of traffic congestion now in Abuja wasn't there in 2015, and this is largely because the APC government has not been able to construct new roads since 2015 when they came on board, Aniagwu stated. Just to remind you guys to subscribe to the channel V Media, like, share, comment, and turn the notification bell on. Thank you. Mr. Charles Aniagwu also gave reasons why the People's Democratic Party PDP was exploring other options in resolving the crisis rocking the party. Aniagwu said as a listening party, they were taking a second look at the issues based on what was permissible by the laws of the party. He said that sacking national chairman of the party, Senator Iyorchia Ayu, would create constitutional crisis for the party, which would snowball into greater problems than what the party was currently faced with. According to him, the main issue being canvassed by the stakeholders is the stepping down of the national chairman, which has now been overtaken by events following the vote of confidence by the National Executive Committee, NEC of the party. People may misinterpret it to mean calling the bluff of certain stakeholders, but that is far from it because the party leadership examined the issues vis-a-vis the provisions of the party's constitution as amended in 2017. When you look at that constitution, there are principal officers called the National Working Committee of the party, led by the national chairman, and in the order of hierarchy, the deputy national chairman, who must also come from the same zone with the national chairman. The third in line is the national secretary, and when you look at these positions, the national chairman is from the north. The second in command is also from the north by virtue of the provision of the party's constitution. In section 45 of the party's constitution, in the event of removal or resignation of the national chairman, the national deputy chairman takes over and acts in the position of that national chairman, pending when the party is able to organize another election or do a NEC meeting to be able to take a decision as to how to rearrange the hierarchy of the party, he stated. He said because the positions were elective positions, even if IU were to step down for power to come to the south, the provisions of the constitution of the party would also be offended. That can only happen if you can also take a decision to remove the deputy national chairman of the party, who the lot immediately falls on by provisions of the law. Even if the party is able to solve that puzzle by bringing both national chairman and deputy to south, the third person in the hierarchy of the national working committee of the party is the national secretary, and that is in the south specifically, Senator Samuel Aniagwu from Imo State. Now, if you decide to bring these two positions to the south, have you also made arrangements to take the national secretary to the north? Because of these legal impediments, the party examined it that given the time that we have, which is just about 6 months to the general elections, that it may likely snowball into some form of crisis that could trigger a whole lot of discomfort within the party if we proceed to begin to make these changes, that there is the tendencies that the party may be embroiled in a crisis that would be worse than the one we are seeing at the moment. That greater crisis is what the ruling APC is waiting to happen, but the leadership of the party is intelligent enough, and I am happy that Governor Nyesom Wike and other leaders appreciate the need for the party to move as a whole into the 2023 general elections. The campaign spokesman further said it was on the basis of this that the party decided to look at what was possible at the moment, and that gave room for the resignation of Senator Walid Jibrin and subsequent emergence of Senator Adolphus Wabara as chairman board of trustees. The emergence of Wabara in the south to join the vice presidential candidate and national secretary had created some form of balance in the interim. But what is most important is that there is a bigger elephant here, which is winning the 2023 general elections, because Nigerians are looking up to the PDP to rescue the nation from where we are at the moment. I am convinced that our leaders who have been craving for these changes would appreciate the fact that the party is listening, but because of time, probably when the party may have won the elections in 2023 by the grace of God, we can now proceed to make some of these alterations that may not be injurious to our quest to win the general elections, Aniagwu said. On the performance of Governor Ifeanyi Okowa in Delta and the value he brings to the ticket as vice presidential candidate, Aniagwu, who is information commissioner in Delta, said that Okowa had performed tremendously with his 5-point agenda, adding that job creation through skill acquisition has been profound. That's the news for now, guys. Bye.